By the end of this video, you'll discover how you can be happy in any situation. This motivational story will change your life. In a small village surrounded by dense forests, there was a mysterious cabin inhabited by an elderly woman known only as Mrs. Clara. After the death of her husband, she chose to move into the cabin. Despite the love and admiration everyone felt towards her, no one knew exactly what happened inside that cabin. An intriguing rumor spread through the village. Whoever entered that cabin would leave transformed, their problems seemingly resolved. Many felt tempted to uncover this secret, but fear and uncertainty always held them back. However, a young man named Michael, skeptical and doubtful of the old woman's reputation, was going through one of the most challenging times in his life. After losing his father, he felt profoundly lost. Urged by his friends, who had already visited Mrs. Clara's cabin, Michael reluctantly decided to go, even though he doubted she could truly help him. Upon arriving, he was welcomed warmly. "Welcome, Michael. Please come in and sit," Mrs. Clara said, pointing to a simple chair by the fireplace. "I'm not really sure why I'm here. I don't believe in these things, but I've been told you have answers for everything," Michael replied, with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Mrs. Clara simply smiled and calmly instructed, "Take off your shoes, please." Surprised and confused, Michael hesitated for a moment, but eventually obeyed. Mrs. Clara carefully took 2 small, rounded pebbles and gently placed one in each shoe. She then asked him to put his shoes back on. Immediately, Michael felt the discomfort of the stones pressing into his feet and impatiently complained, "Why did you put these stones here? It's uncomfortable, it hurts." With the calmness of someone who had repeated this ritual many times before, Mrs. Clara explained, "Michael, these stones represent the problems and difficulties that arise in our lives beyond our control. The pain you feel now symbolizes the suffering we endure when we choose to hold on to these problems inside ourselves. Each painful step is a constant reminder that we're allowing these difficulties to define our path." Michael listened carefully, though still troubled by the discomfort. Mrs. Clara continued, "But you can choose to remove these stones from your shoes at any moment. Similarly, in life, you might not be able to prevent problems, but you can choose how you react to them. Happiness doesn't depend on the absence of challenges, but rather on your decision to face them with courage and determination. If you decide to remove these stones, your steps will become lighter, and each one will symbolize your overcoming of obstacles." Deeply moved by the elderly woman's wisdom, Michael took the stones out of his shoes, instantly feeling relief. With tears in his eyes, he realized he'd been carrying emotional stones of past losses and defeats within himself, and it was he who perpetuated this suffering. Mrs. Clara concluded, "Life will always bring new stones, Michael. The secret lies in not allowing them to remain longer than necessary. Choose to remove them and move forward, learning from each challenge, but never allowing them to prevent you from experiencing the happiness you deserve." Now, pause for a moment and reflect. What stones are you carrying in your life today? Perhaps they are grudges, guilt, fears, or painful memories. Ask yourself if it's truly worthwhile to keep them close, if these stones really need to define each step you take. Remember, you have the freedom to choose. Choose to let go, choose to walk lightly, choose happiness. After all, the power to transform your life lies entirely in your hands. If this video touched you, be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.